And that father told my cousin that he is my only son and he's insisting for the bike. And he said that, you know what is he saying? He's threatening us that if you don't give me bike, I will commit suicide. Today it's a fashion to drink. You don't drink, then you are conservative. You're orthodox. You don't drink. No means no. And this, you can't say no at the age of 17 and 18. No should start in KG, when they were kid. At least listen to your parents. There are some motivational speakers who say that, oh, those who don't listen to parents, they become successful in life. Have you seen them? You heard them? Come on. What do you mean by this? There are some exceptional cases where a parent says that do job and he does a business and he's successful. I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm not talking about that 1%. I'm talking about the 99%. What parents tell, it's always good for you. My daughter was saying that, Dad, she is in 11th standard now. I want a bike. We have a bike. We have a Jupiter. No, I said, go buy cycle. Cycle. The reaction. Cycle means, what do you mean cycle kind of? Why are you ashamed of cycle? My friends come by bike. What's their age? 17. Who gave them bike? In the first case, I told you, kids. Second, parents. Parents relent. They don't want the temporary discomfort of saying no. So, who is responsible for this Pune case that happened? So, you may have seen zillions of videos on YouTube. Our system is corrupt, or officers are corrupt, or the child is not been brought up, parents are responsible, right? And that child was not like, maybe he was of your age, not very older, hardly 18 years old, nearly 18 years old. 17 years and 8 months. So guys, this particular case, what happened is, I think it's showing the new things that are happening in our country. The traditions are changing, the values are changing, and the way a child is brought up is changing. A few days before, we have taken one session about the Pune syndrome, and this is quite very similar to this. So why this has happened? Now, see, as I said before, we can't go and say that, okay, government is responsible for this or the system is responsible. Let us keep it aside, because I don't feel like dragging the system, because we have one very bad habit of pointing fingers at the government. Whatever happens, whatever happens, the system is responsible. But let us, if you go down deep under the skin, you will find out that there is something wrong happening in the society. And this case is a justification of that. What's happening? Something is rotting inside. There is a problem in the system. Which system? In our upbringing now. Things and values are changing now. And that is the root cause of the problem. Friends, many of you were very angry, right? After hearing that news, right, all of you? Yes. And many of you felt like that boy should be punished. No, but let me ask you this question, like, how many of you are responsible drivers here? Raise your hands. You drive responsibly and you have a license, a valid driving license, you have it, and you drive responsibly. Now you know it, because I can't come with you. You know it. Because before blaming that boy, first we have to look ourselves. are we having that good driving discipline? We have it. Now today when I see, when I see youngsters, how do they drive? How do you drive? 3 people is very common in India. Means 2 people are driving, it's 2 people sitting and driving, it's unusual. 3 is normal. 4 is a bit too much. 5 is abnormal. How have you seen 5 people traveling on bike? 5 also. And today morning itself, I saw that boy was fetching his kids. Those kids were hardly 3 years old. And their legs were dangling in the air. Those small kids, what? And they were trying to, that one kid had hugged that man. His tummy was big, she couldn't hold him. Can you imagine that? And then another kid was holding another kid. So in that way, line was there. So 4 were there, and 1/5 was on the fuel tank. And he was driving, and I could see that boy who was in between, he was nearly losing his balance, but still he was holding tight. And he was not looking anywhere, he was looking just holding tight, like that. You may have seen all this, people carrying everything on their bikes, anything they will carry. All the animals also. Goat, chicken, only horses are left. Elephants, they can't carry, I think. So this is what we come from, and we ourselves, we don't have any driving ethics or discipline. And what happens is, I want to ask you this question that, okay, now you are angry, this is injustice. This is injustice. And if you were in that place, in the place of that boy, it's okay, innocent boy and all. Doesn't understand. When you put yourself in that place, then all fine. But when you are not in that place, now he must be punished. So first of all, I want to ask you this question that many of you, first thing you do is when you grow up 17, 16, what do you do? What first thing you ask your parents? What is the first thing you ask your parents? Mobile. And second thing? Bike. Mobile and bike. 2 dangerous combinations. And while driving, it is suicidal. Mobile and bike, total. Mobile will destroy your life because you will never be able to focus on your studies. And bikes, it will destroy someone else's life on the road. Guys, you have seen this Porsche case, fine. But there are so many low-profile cases. This is a high-profile case that have gone unnoticed. All of you have seen that? Even my relative have seen that. That poor lady, she was hit by one boy who was juvenile, under 18. He hit, and that lady died after 6 months because of infection and injuries to her leg. She died, and entire family suffered. After 6 months, her husband died because he was alone then. And that boy was not 14, 15 years old. Now I will look after the another side also. Parents will also come in the picture, but first thing is, what do you do? I want bikes. Now I don't want only bikes. Exactly. Hit the bullseye. You want sports bike. What are the names? KZ, something is there? K10. KTM. Okay, KTM. I call it as yoga bike. Means when you sit on the bike, you have to do yoga. Hands down, legs up. Seen that, all of you? Seen that, those bikes? How dare? And if someone is sitting behind, you feel like he's sitting on a mountain. And he will look at everyone like, oh, I have seen that. That kind of bikes are there. I want to say this to you guys. My cousin is working as a finance salesman. They sell the finance. And that bike, I don't know which bike, but it was expensive bike. Cost was 3 lakh rupees, 3 or 4 lakh. I don't know what was the bike. And see, understand, this is for you actually. Who is responsible? I want to tell you. This guy came along with his parents, mama, daddy, and that boy. And boy said, I want this bike. Nothing else, only this. Cost was 4 lakh. I don't know what was the price. And that father told my cousin that he is my only son and he's insisting for the bike. And he said that, you know what is he saying? He's threatening us that if you don't give me bike, I will commit suicide. Now, having said this, that parent, that dad was a rickshaw driver. And he said, I earn 15,000 rupees per month. Now the EMI will be 7 to 8,000 rupees for that bike. What they're going to eat then? Dad is crazy, he's crazy because he loves his child. He's going to buy it. And if you take a loan of 3 lakh rupees, you have to pay 6 lakh rupees. Yes. And he was ready because of love. So, who is responsible for this hedonic lifestyle that we are chasing? We want high-end bikes, high-end cars, luxurious life. And especially you, my friend has a bullet. How come I will come on Jupiter? Activa. Cycle? No question. Today, how many of you come by cycle? Show me your hands. Give them a big hand. You must be proud. And okay, let me confess this, okay? Let me confess this. If I'm not telling you my story, then it's a sin for me. I did the same mistake. That I told you story, we did not loan and all, but I told my dad that I want, during those days, 1998, 99, Caliber was the bike name, Bajaj Caliber. And I wanted that bike. And I was pestering my dad. I want that bike. The same drama I did. Not suicide, but I'm not going to study. I will not go to college. And my dad said, okay. Dads are crazy. How many of you crazy dads like my dad? Everyone? They will do anything for you. And I don't want to get emotional, but my dad, I still remember, accumulated 29,000 rupees. Cash. And secondly, he died. And that money was used for his funeral, for that Kriya Karma. That 29,000 rupees we used, I still remember that. Looking back, I don't feel good about it. I mean, I feel like, I should not have done that. I should not have so stubborn and demanding from my father. Of course, today I'm 46. Now I'm giving you advice. I felt like I should tell you the real thing also, which I did. Because at this age, you don't understand what is right and what is wrong, and you insane. And I did that. But it hurt me to my core. That money was used for my dad's funeral and for all that rituals which we do. It hurt me a lot. But time is gone. Can't do anything about it. I lost my dad. But I want to say that, hey guys, before demanding something from your parents, let me tell you, your dad will do anything to give you whatever you want. Right? And he will have an ordinary bike, but he will give you a high-end bike. He will have an ordinary mobile phone, but you will have Apple phones. So these things are changing, guys, nowadays. You people are responsible for that case. Today, when I drive on the road, I see every bike different. So many models are there. During my days, okay, I'm not that हमारे ज़माने में kind of a person, but during my days there were 2-3 bikes. Hero Honda, CD 100, Splendor, Bajaj. Finished. Today every bike is new, and then what happens? You get into that trap, hedonic trap, I said. The prices of the bike, 3 lakh, 4 lakh. Hang on, what's happening here? And another thing, alcohol. That boy was consuming alcohol. Who is responsible? Today it's a fashion to drink. You don't drink, then you are conservative. You're orthodox. You don't drink. Now what police is going to do, tell me? Police can come to your home. We are blaming the police, we are blaming the system. I mean, I know some people who are my relatives actually. I know some people. I come from rural area. So I went to a metro, a big metro I went to meet my relatives. And I think the age was 22, 24 during those age. I come from a lower middle class family. My dad was a teacher. Those people had money. I mean, they were rich. And their discussion was, you know what was the discussion? आज कुठे बसायचं? I couldn't understand. बसायचं म्हणजे कुठेही बसायचं त्यात काय? Then I realized बसायचं म्हणजे that. And they were flaunting about it. I mean, they were proud of this. And I, rural area guy, not modern per se. I want high-end bikes. Second, don't ask me what I do. Don't ask me what I do. I mean, I'm free now. My friends are having alcohol. I will also have it. One student from our institute died actually. There was a car crash, maybe 5-7 years before. And there was that Swift car, they were driving at high speed, and on the speed breaker, they lost the control and that boy died. From our institute, I remember that boy. Few years before, or many years before, there was a crash near Angli. You were not born also. Again, these youngsters, that adrenaline rush was there. At morning, they pulled out the car. Dad did not know this. We'll go to Kolhapur for McDonald's. And they crashed on the car, all 4 dead. I guess it was year 2000. So, dad and mom can't be with you always to police you and to monitor you. It's up to you guys. It's up to you. What is modern? What is modern? What is the definition of modern? He is modern, I'm orthodox. What do you mean by that? You can be a typical 17 years old. What is a typical 17 years old? What he does? I have said many times, he is interested in opposite sex. A typical 17 years old is interested in opposite sex. Male and female, boys, girls, both. Second, a typical 19-year-old will be running behind bikes and cars. Decide that. You want to be typical 17, 18 years old, or you want to be a typical 17 years, 18 years old, where all the 17 years old look at him. And I said that I want to be like him. You have to decide that. Because you can be a ordinary 17-year-old. Anyone can become. You don't need efforts for this, Do you need any efforts to go and consume alcohol? No. So you decide what you want to be. Stop blaming the system and government. You people are responsible first, who demand high-end bikes and cars and who have a bad company. No one is going to control you on the road. Control should be in the home. No one is going to control you or discipline you in the office or in the college. Discipline and control must be in the home. That you have to do that. Now let me come to the second point now, then I will stop. That's my opinion. Now you tell me your own opinion, okay? Another is parents are also responsible for this. No. Now see what happens is, many parents come to me and say that, sir, like I did, or that boy did, that boy I told you. Sir, I mean my child doesn't listen to me. How many of you listen to your parents? Rahul, take properly. We'll ask. No means no. No means no. If any parent is watching this video, they should understand no means no. And I'm also a parent of 2 teenage kids. My daughter is 17 and my son is 16 years old. Can you imagine? Rebels at home. No means no. And this, you can't say no at the age of 17 and 18. No should start in KG, when they were kid. When they throw tantrums. You know, when you take the kids to bazaar, for DMart for example. Have you seen them throwing tantrums? Ah, I want a chocolate. What about, oh, no, okay, take the chocolate. Take this call. My wife, no means no. They were crying. Sit there, cry. We will go. You can sit there and cry. No means no. That is how we brought up our kids. I'm not saying that they should be a sissy or they should be a mama's boy. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is no means no, and your prefrontal cortex is not developed. So we are your prefrontal cortex. We are, as a parent, we are, because you don't understand what is right and what is wrong. And that's what I said. You don't understand. At least understand that you don't understand. At least listen to your parents. There are some motivational speakers who say that, oh, those who don't listen to parents, they become successful in life. Have you seen them? You heard them? Come on. What do you mean by this? There are some exceptional cases where a parent says that do job and he does a business and he's successful. I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm not talking about that 1%. I'm talking about the 99%. What parents tell, it's always good for you. My daughter was saying that, Dad, she is in 11th standard now. I want a bike. We have a bike. We have a Jupiter. No, I said, go buy cycle. Cycle. The reaction. Cycle means, what do you mean cycle kind of? Why are you ashamed of cycle? My friends come by bike. What's their age? 17. Who gave them bike? In the first case, I told you, kids. Second, parents. Parents relent. They don't want the temporary discomfort of saying no. You want, okay, take this. You want mobile? Okay, take this. I'm busy in my office, my business. Take this. Okay, go. So here is, and one more thing, I was there to pick up my daughter on that day, and her friends, we were driving, my daughter said that these are my friends. These 2 friends were driving, talking to each other. First, license is not there. Second, while driving, they're talking. 2 going parallel on highway. But see or understand, I remember a nice movie. I don't know whether you have seen that movie or not. In that movie, Amrita Singh is mother of a gangster. Shootout at Vadala? I don't know. No. The gangster is there and Amrita Singh is there. And there is a encounter going on between police and that gangster. And then Amrita Singh comes to the police and says that, Saab jane do na. Shootout at Lokhandwala. हाँ. That officer gives a nice reply. अरे तू ही तो थी ना, अपने बच्चे पे गर्व करती थी, फोकट में मच्छी लेती थी, बच्चे का नाम बोल के। अब क्या हुआ? She used to be proud. My son is brave, hero, gangster. Now look at this. This is what is going to happen to your son.
So, good evening, guys. And today topic is very serious. So, actually, last 28 minutes were paradigm shifts, sir. I mean, actually, I had taken some points, and definitely I would have blamed the parents first. But yeah, that thing is true that parents cannot be with us everywhere. We need to be responsible. So, talking about that accident, so, but one thing actually in that accident, I read in.
Because what is happening is, because of these new books on parenting, in those books they have been told that don't punish your kids. They have a mental effect. How many of you have taken this, raise your hand? How many of you have taken this? That one side I put that, which soap? Which soap is that? Dove. And one side mama had hit me. कौन सी साइड ज़्यादा चमक रही थी? ये साइड. स्टील का चमकतं की नाही उन्हामध्ये तसं तसं चमकलं पाहिजे की नाही? मराठी वर्ड इज खानाखाली जाळ. किती मस्त आहे ना शब्द तो. एक 2 मिनिटं ऐकायचं बंद होतं. Then after 5 minutes you can hear. Do you feel it's needed? It's needed, I think. Don't, of course, I'm not talking about that harsh psychological and mental and physical punishment. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a punishment which will help you to change. I'm talking about that punishment. I think you know the story. There was one criminal who was been hanged. And he was asked, okay, what's your final wish? I want to meet my mother. Okay. Mother comes and he slaps her mother. Everyone is shocked. What is this? He says that when I did my first crime, you should have slapped me in this way. You did not slap. That's the reason why today I'm being hanged. You did not slap me. So guys, this case of Porsche is just showing that what's happening at homes. Consumerism is at the peak. Money is flowing so high. Every parent is earning now. Parents are busy earning. They don't have time. And market is full of bikes and cars. And it is today, if you don't have a high-end bike, if you don't have a high-end car, in colleges some students I see, they just go to flaunt their bikes. All of you seen that? They just go to flaunt their bikes, flaunt their cars. You come in BMW, oh, you come in Porsche, oh, you come with that Harley Davidson, right? Harley Davidson. Don't need, guys, don't need to show anything. At the end, your dad's money. What about you? Want to flaunt? Flaunt your marks. Flaunt your achievements. That is what you have to flaunt, not that bikes and cars. Got it, all of you? So next time, when your parent says, don't do, I tell you, from my personal experience, please don't do. I know ChatGPT. अरे ते बाजूला ठेव तुझं ChatGPT. I know technology. I know Google. I know it's not. Understand? Your parents are very wise. I'm telling you, they're very wise. Please listen to them. Don't say to your mama, तुला काय कळतं? Meera Borwankar's video is there on YouTube. Meera Borwankar and Vishwas Nangre Patil. See that video. Marathi, shot in Kolhapur. Marathi it was. There was a sex scandal. She was the head of in charge. which happened somewhere in this another district of Maharashtra, somewhere. And she was the head of that committee. She was the main officer of who was going to inquire that. And she said that all those girls who were involved in that, she saw all those girls were arrogant with their parents. All the girls. Like, as I said, you don't understand. तुला काय कळतं? कपडे कसे घालायचे तुला काय कळतं? Mother says, don't go with that girl, with that boy. तुला काय कळतं? That reaction was there. And that was the reason why these girls were trapped in the sex scandal. Definitely you should watch that video. Parenting is a big challenge nowadays because handling kids like you is like handing a nuclear bomb. Don't know when it will explode. Father said yes. Why father said yes? Since childhood, father is saying yes. If he had said no, and if the child has the habit of listening to no, today children don't have the habit of listening no. Parents are saying yes. Car, yes. Bike, yes. Mobile, yes. Everything, yes. Why? Well, I have only one child or two children. Now, why I'm earning for? I'm earning for them. And you may have seen many officers they lose their children, you know. High-profile officers who have only one child. Right? So this is what I wanted to tell because today it's very difficult for parents to say no nowadays. What about you? I want to ask you, what about you? When your dad, mom says no, what do you do? Bharatanatyam. Yes or no? Yes or no? You can say Bharatanatyam, your Bharatanatyam, own Bharatanatyam. Do you do it? Then who is responsible? Both. As I give my example, I say no to my kids and my kids never ask. No, chapter closed. They don't pester us. Never. Okay? Agree with me or not? Yes. Logical or not? Yes. Today parents are pleasing their children. They're pleasers now. I know one in my community. No. What do you want? The child is hitting him. 7-year child is hitting him. He is not saying anything. Spoiled brats. Spoiled brats. Today also I was in 4th standard, I was in 4th standard. My maths teacher beat me. My ego got hurt. I went and told my dad, Dad, Shinde sir ne marlo. Dad said, okay, I'll come to your school. Chalo, so when you're going to come after 2 days? And I told all my friends like, Baba येणार दाखवतोच होता. So that day came, and he came, my dad, and I was there in the class. Dad said, Shinde sir, you are Shinde sir? I said, yes. 1 minute, please come out. I was looking at my friends. And it was in front of the class. He said, what, you beat my son? Oh, who? Sandeep? That, yes. Hammer him. My dad said, beat him. From my side, freedom is there. In Marathi, he was using those words. From my end, no problem. You can beat whatever you want. I was like, huh, what is this? And my friends started laughing at me. And guys, that's the reason why today I'm standing in front of you. With respect in the society and a valuable and contributing member to the society. And the society is a local tap. Today, parents don't want teachers to discipline their child. No, no, don't beat him. Parents come to school fighting. Why you beat? Of course, severe punishment should not be there. No doubt. Humiliation should not be there. But our teachers, how they beat? Do you remember? And that बहुत अच्छा है यार हिंदी में. सोनार से पीटा हुआ सोना और शिक्षक से पीटा हुआ शिष्य हमेशा आभूषण बनते हैं. सर नो? तो ये आभूषण कैसे बनेंगे यार, उसको पीटना तो पड़ेगा ना थोड़ा सा. So we were being beaten by our parents and teachers. That's the reason why today we are something today. So those who are watching this video, I feel like that pleasing their children, you should stop them. Otherwise, at the age of 19, they come to me, 20. So do something for my child. What I can do, 19-year did not do anything. What I can do now? That child in the morning, I'm giving Apple phone, which 7, 8, 9, I don't know what is the model. Huh? 7, 15, there is something common between mobile, car and life partner. Already I have told you. Mobile, car and life partner. What is common? You always think that we should have waited for better model. I want to tell you one very interesting story. So there was a boy like Vishal, or like you, who was fed up with his dad's constant nagging or whatever you call, like discipline. That's discipline, you know. Get up at what time? 6. Now it has come down. Earlier it used to be get up at 4 o'clock. Now it is get up at 8 o'clock. Huh? Get up at 8 o'clock. So the standard has come down now. Still, really? Okay. So, and he'll tell you that at least, fix your bed, your pillow and all, fix that. Right now? Then he'll tell you, keep the toothpaste properly. Put the cap. You go and complain your mother. Morning is just spinning my head. Take care of your bike. A lot of other things, right? So there was a similar dad. So that son was fed up. And finally he finished his engineering. So he was so happy that I'm just going to get this freedom out of this jail, so called. And he went to the interview. When he entered the gate, he saw there was a hose pipe, for garden. And it was open, tap was open. So he went and closed it. It was unnecessarily open. So he went inside and he sat. Other candidates were sitting there. And he saw that there were 2 fans they were on. Unnecessarily they were on. So he went and switched them off. He sat. And then another thing happened. He reached 15 to 20 minutes earlier than other candidates. And he went and told the receptionist that I'm here for interview and all. One more thing he saw that there were some chairs who were not properly kept. So out of his nature, he placed them properly. And then he went for his interview. And the HR said, okay, You reported 20 minutes earlier. And I saw you that when you entered inside, you closed the water tap. Is it off? Just that, okay, ठीक है. It's okay. You switched off the lights also. You switched off the fans also. Okay. Good. This shows that you are a responsible and disciplined person. We are looking for such people. Your academics is good, everyone has good academics, but you have better discipline. So we'll be happy to select you. What comes out? Then he realizes that it was the dad's discipline that shaped his habits of switching off the fans and switching off the tubes and closing the water tap. Two incidents about parenting. All of you know this person, Sanjay Godawat? All of you know Sanjay Godawat? 1998, I was going to my college, Italkaranji, and there was some problem in his factory. Okay, problem in the sense those workers came and destroyed everything. I mean, vandalized everything in his office, everything except his mother's photo. His mother's photo was in his cabin. They did not touch that photo, and due to that, he did not file any case on anyone. I have seen successful people respect their parents. Second example, Mukesh Ambani. He always says, my parents' blessings are there with me. Therefore, I am successful today. Go and see that. You can see his speeches. So without parents' blessings or without their discipline, you can't be anything in life. Okay, so it's very closely connected with that case. How many of you have seen arrogant children talking to their parents? You are? Next.